Hey there, bookworms and civics enthusiasts. Today we're tackling a topic that sits at the intersection of sports politics and urban development: the impact of the Olympic Games on host cities. Our guide for this journey is Olympic Dreams: The Impact of Mega Events on Local Politics by Matthew J. Burbank, Gregory D. Andranovich, and Charles H. Hay. Buckle up, because this isn't just about athletic glory. We're going deep into the political and economic machinations behind the Olympic dream, exploring the often unfulfilled promises and the lasting legacies, good and bad, the Games leave behind. The allure of the Olympic dream, promises, and pitfalls. Cities around the world fiercely compete to host the Olympics, lured by the promise of economic benefits, international recognition, and a boost to their city's image. But as this book reveals the reality of hosting, the Games is far more complex than the shiny, happy pictures painted by Olympic boosters. The authors argue that the pursuit of the Olympics, particularly in the US, is driven by a mega event strategy, a deliberate effort to leverage the Games to promote local economic growth. But this strategy often comes at a high cost, with public funds being funneled towards costly infrastructure projects and private interests reaping the rewards. The rise of the mega event strategy was the rise of the mega event strategy, the authors argue, is rooted in the changing landscape of urban America. With the decline of federal urban aid in the 1980s and the rise of global economic competition, cities have been forced to become more entrepreneurial in their pursuit of economic growth. The Olympics, with their global media attention and allure to corporate sponsors, became the ultimate prize, a way to put a city on the world stage and attract investment capital. The power of regimes shaping the Olympic agenda. But who really controls the Olympic process? The authors use regime theory to analyze how decisions are made in host cities, highlighting the influence of powerful networks of business and political elites who prioritize economic development above other concerns. They argue that while city governments are formally responsible for bidding for and organizing the Games, they often lack the resources and political will to fully control the process. This creates an opportunity for business interests to shape the Olympic agenda, often prioritizing projects that benefit corporate sponsors and developers over the needs of everyday citizens. Case studies: Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Salt Lake City. The book delves into detailed case studies of three U.S. cities that have hosted the Olympics: Los Angeles 1984, Atlanta 1996, and Salt Lake City 2002. Each case illustrates the complex interplay between local politics, economic development, and the pursuit of the Olympic dream, highlighting both the successes and the failures of the mega event strategy. Los Angeles, the birth of the capitalist games. The 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, despite a Soviet boycott, are often hailed as the blueprint for a successful privately funded games. The LA organizing committee, led by Peter Ueberroth, relied heavily on corporate sponsorships and secured lucrative television deals, generating a substantial surplus. However, the authors point out that even the LA Games benefited from public subsidies, particularly for infrastructure improvements and security. Furthermore, the Games' focus on commercialization and profit maximization set a precedent for future Olympics, paving the way for the corporate takeover of the Olympic movement. Atlanta, a city divided. The 1996 Atlanta Olympics presented a stark contrast. The city, eager to use the Games as a catalyst for urban renewal and social uplift, clashed with the Atlanta organizing committee, whose priorities were more closely aligned with the interests of corporate sponsors and developers. The result was a city divided, with residents of predominantly black neighborhoods bearing the brunt of displacement and gentrification, while the downtown area was transformed into a corporate theme park for tourists and upscale consumers. The legacy of the Atlanta Games is a mixed one, marked by both progress and persistent inequalities. Salt Lake City, the bribery scandal and its aftermath. The 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics were rocked by a bribery scandal that exposed the corrupt underbelly of the IOC bid process. The scandal, which revealed that Salt Lake bid committee officials had lavished gifts and favors on IOC members to secure their votes, tarnished the city's image and led to a series of reforms within the IOC. While Salt Lake City ultimately hosted a successful Games, the scandal highlighted the vulnerability of the Olympics to corruption and the influence of special interests. It also raised serious questions about the accountability and transparency of the IOC and the process for selecting host cities. Beyond the Games, a call for citizen action, the book concludes with a call for greater citizen engagement in the Olympic process. The authors argue that the mega event strategy often marginalizes the needs and concerns of local communities, prioritizing the interests of political and economic elites. They advocate for greater transparency and accountability within the IOC, as well as a more equitable and sustainable approach to Olympic development that benefits all residents of the host city, not just a privileged few. In summary, Olympic Dreams is a must read for anyone interested in the intersection of sports, politics, and urban development. It's a compelling reminder that the Olympics are not just a game, but a powerful force that can shape the lives of millions. What are your thoughts on the impact of the Olympics on host cities? Can the Games be reformed to be more equitable and sustainable? Let's discuss in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more critical explorations of the world of sports.